the student center, all pretty much complete. Stone Farm, we're putting in the portables uh, this week, and I don't want to give all the reports, but I'm just proud of the team. I want to really appreciate everybody on Serafin's team for working through this pandemic. Uh, we know that it's an opportunity for us to really accelerate our capital projects program. But we want to do it right and we want to be safe about it. And so safety is always a paramount in our decisions, making sure our workers are happy. Serafin and I are going to put together a list of local contractors that we've used thus far on Measure H so that the board could see the extent of how many local contractors we've used. And I believe it's close to 80% of all the work that's been done at SRJC has been done by either Sonoma County, Napa, or contiguous counties, which are neighboring counties. So I'm very proud of that. It's something that we made a commitment to when we started Measure H back in 2014. So at this point, I'll turn it over to Serafin, and then later we'll go through and walk you through the adopted spending plan. I'm also pleased that we were able to make some shifts, save some money, and shift some money over. So I'll go over that with Serafin later. But at this point, I'll turn it over to Serafin to walk you through the agenda and give his reports. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Chong, and Happy New Year to everyone. Hopefully everybody had a restful winter break. At Capital Projects, we continued through the winter with our those projects that we have under construction. So we've maintained busy. In today's presentation, we do have a presentation by TLCD Architects. Heather will introduce them during her portion in the agenda. And then I do want to introduce to you one new member to the Capital Projects team, a new project manager. His name is Paul Wilhite. Paul is with one of our consulting firms, JGM, and he will be overseeing some of our, couple of our larger projects, including Garcia Hall renovation, and then also the new building that's going to be built at the Public Safety Training Center. And you'll hear from Paulo later when he provides an update. So with that said, we'll begin our update for the new year, starting with purchasing. There's a couple of solicitations that are in progress. One is the annual CUPCA pre-qualification process. This has been going on for a couple of months, and it will complete on January 8th. The Baker Hall lab renovation is also currently out to bid, and those bids are due on the 19th of this month. And then today, you will have one item that was previously bid, the Schoen Farm Ag portables. These are the portables that were relocated from the Santa Rosa campus to Schoen Farm. And the scope that we bid is the site work to and installation of the buildings at Schoen Farm. So that low bid came in at $1.9 million. We did receive 6 bids. There is one contract that's been awarded since our last board meeting. That's the Pioneer Hall Intercultural Center tenant improvement project. That contract has been awarded, and Amy Haight is actually working on getting that contractor started on that project. And then we have a couple of solicitations that are going to take place in this month. There's an RFP for moving services. We're at a point where we need to renew our short list for several of our vendors, including our moving services. So that's what this practice is going to be, as well as the specialized engineering services. That RFQ will go out this month as well. And then there's Newman Hall LED and AV upgrades bid that will go out also in January. Now the IT update. Kevin Snyder.
Hey, that's me. Good afternoon. A couple of quick things. The remote lab environment, that's something that I've talked about for the last couple of months. And what I just got a report on from Mike Roth that the STEM and computer science folks are just thrilled with it. And it's the ability for our students to get directly into our lab environment on campus has been a really huge hit. We have some financial and licensing limitations, so we're trying to keep everyone's expectations tempered, but it's been very, very popular, and we're really happy that it's something that we can offer, and it's continuing to expand up until the license limitation. So it's been a really big hit, and I'm very proud of my team for having pulled that together as quickly as they did. As far as the Portal Guard identity services, um, single sign-on is basically the thing that's being changed right now. Many of you have logged into the portal page, which is part of SIS, and that will forward your credentials to other applications like Canvas, et cetera. So what we're doing, sort of our last change is going to be, as we integrate these new single sign-on systems in to the new portal page, we're adding some SIS components to it. So we're making some changes to the login page. So over the next month or so, where you would normally log into the old legacy student SIS login, you'll start logging into this portal page. It's going to do all exactly the same thing. It just looks slightly different, but it'll have all the same cool stuff on it. And I'm very happy, speaking of Paul, I know Seraphin, you mentioned Paul. We've been working with Paul on some updates to Busman Hall. Obviously, that's near and dear to my heart. And so we're meeting, our next meeting is Thursday. We've gone over some great ideas. We've already got a lot of notes and a lot of drawings put together. So I'm really excited about that project. Seraphin, if you want to push forward, thank you. And the fiber ring construction is nearing completion. Bradley Electric is actually hoping to demobilize by the end of next week. They're doing testing and labeling of the cabling, and so that's moving very quickly. We're making great progress with the fiber, and that Scott may be giving more information on that later, but that's where we are with that. It's been going great. And as far as the Cisco HyperFlex, the knowledge transfer from the vendor to our people is happening on Wednesday, but we've also migrated 80 servers into this brand new environment. And it's bigger, stronger, faster, and it's going to last us a long time. So I'm really excited about the new infrastructure that we've got. I think it's going to really be something to carry us in for several years. So I'm excited about that. And unless there are questions, that completes my report.
All right, thank you, Kevin. Next is for Media Services, Greg Wyckoff.
Hello, everyone. Happy New Year. We're very excited that the Baker Hall instructional technology refresh is moving forward. It's actually been combined with the lab renovation that Seraphine mentioned. So that's out to bid right now. It's 12 classrooms plus the anatomy lab that will be getting all brand new technology. They're especially excited in the anatomy lab because the technology they have in there is 20 years old. The monitors, as you can see in the picture there, they're very tiny little monitors that 20 or more students have to gather around to see very small details of the research process that they're involved in. So we're going to be putting in much larger monitors, new higher definition cameras, and that sort of thing. So that project is out to bid, as Seraphin mentioned. Another new technology that we're very excited about is a tracking camera system that is something that was requested by the CAD department. And what it does is allow the instructors to be able to be seen more clearly as they're giving dance instruction. As you can imagine, they do quite a lot of moving about in the dance studio. And if they have a fixed camera, what happens is when they move away from the camera, they get very tiny in the image. So what this system does is it will follow the instructor as they move around the dance studio and keep them framed, as you can see in the picture on the right. so that the students who are learning remotely can follow their dance steps and so on much more closely. Next slide. The other new technology that we have implemented is a digital signage enterprise solution. Up to now, all of our signage on campus, every single digital sign has been powered by an individual PC, individual computer. And it's very difficult to maintain. It was kind of a quick and dirty solution to signage. But we have found an enterprise level solution that is very cost effective and will be actually very easy for users. And so that is going to be rolling out this spring as we roll out some additional new signage that I'll mention a little bit later. Next slide. Go to the next one, Seraphine. Thank you. So other projects for spring, as I mentioned, with the digital signage, one of the things that we're adding, we've had a request by student services for signage kiosks. And so those have been purchased. They were delivered to Petaluma. Some of them are being delivered to Santa Rosa right now. And so we'll be rolling those out this spring, and they'll be powered by the Magic Info signage solution, along with all of our current signage. Also, Seraphine mentioned that Newman Auditorium is coming up. We're doing a total technology replacement in Newman. That space is 20 years overdue for a technology upgrade. And it will also include the LED lighting, as he mentioned, as well as sound, projection, video, and all of the technology. We also have some classroom refresh projects that we'll be doing in-house. So our own technicians will be refreshing several classrooms in the Emeritus building, 2 classrooms in Race, 3 or 4 in Annalee, and the choral room in Forsyth. And on top of that, we're assisting Capital Projects with several of their projects with the AV side of that. So our technicians have been quite busy, and this will be a busy spring for them. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Greg. Now to our capital projects updates. Sumita is on vacation this week. I don't think she joined us, but the Science Edition project is pretty much complete. All of the landscaping, the artwork, that was part of the hardscape is complete. And also the furniture has all been delivered. So the project is set to have an official completion of this month, January 2021. Facility training videos are being produced by Media Services. That's a great service for us, given that we really can't bring large number of people together to train them on the new systems. So thank you to Media Services. Here's some more pictures of the exterior at Science Edition, looking great on a sunny day. And then the Student Life project is also coming to completion. They're wrapping up some of the landscaping on the exterior of the building, as well as some of the final finishes inside the building. So Media has been very busy working with the staff in Petaluma to order all of the new furniture for the facility. So that's the next major step for this project team. And then some of our other projects at Petaluma, the construction center, we had our first advisory group meeting in December. That went really well. We have a great representation from the county supporting this project. And so we're ready to move forward with the design as well. TLCD is on board, and they will begin the design actually this month. And then one of the things that we've been working on is finding a home for the Fashion Lab that is currently at the Santa Rosa campus in Garcia Hall, because we have decided to make Garcia Hall the new home for communication studies. we've been working with the Petaluma campus to find a location for them. And so we finally were able to work out. There's a couple of places that are available at Petaluma. So we're continuing to work with the deans and the staff in Petaluma to find a permanent home. In the meantime, we're going to place them at Capri Creek classroom. That's going to be for the spring semester, being that we'll still be a remote for the spring semester. But we'll continue to work this month and this semester to find a permanent home and then have them prepared to go by the summer in Petaluma.
Serafin, I have two questions. One about the construction center. I was wondering who is on the advisory group?
We have representatives from different organizations throughout the county. We can provide that list to you. I'll have that list sent out to the entire board.
Okay, thank you. And the other thing is, I thought the Fashion Lab, the last I heard, was not moving. That it was going to stay in Santa Rosa, but it again changed, or did I?
No, you're not wrong. There has been a lot of conversation with the space in Garcia Hall. So in the last 2 years, there have been decisions to move them and then to leave them there. So we actually did complete a design to leave them in Garcia Hall. But again, since things have changed so much in the last year and a half, that as far as space allocations, we have decided that the best thing to do is to leave communication studies in Garcia Hall. There's barely enough room there for the department to be housed in Garcia. And then, like I said, we've been looking for a location for Fashion Lab, and we've been working with the department too, with the actual Fashion Lab staff and the dean, and as well as the deans in Petaluma, since Petaluma became an opportunity for us. So everybody has been involved in the discussions, and this is the last and the latest and final decision that moved into Petaluma.
No, I think it's cool. It's wonderful. And the Capri Creek classroom, are those the portables out there?
It is a portable. Yes, it is a portable.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. That's what I thought.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Now we'll go to Schoen Farm with Scott.
Good afternoon, everyone. Schoen Farm is moving along. We received the roofing materials for the barn and have begun the installation. And the produce processing plant was moving along pretty well up until the rain hit. This was just a couple of days beforehand. They are stopped at the moment, but we're expecting some dry weather next week and expect to get back on it. The central plant similarly was making great progress. This is the trench that encircles the new pool layout that reroutes all of the utilities that currently cross the field there where the pool will reside. And again, they made tremendous progress before the rains hit. They got all this material in the ground and protected, so we didn't lose any time other than a few days of rain. The roofing projects, Pedricelli and Pioneer. Pedricelli is really in the punch list stage. All the roofing material is on the roof. They're putting trim on the ridge caps and things like that. And we expect to be done in a week or two. Pioneer roof replacement was stalled for a moment while they waited for the gutters to arrive, which have. And they installed the gutters just last week. And they began replacing the tile today, in fact. So we're expecting to be done in a few weeks. Pioneer as well. The Emeritus Circle improvements, construction started a few weeks ago. They got after it in earnest, and what we have established is the subgrade and protected that by coming in with some road base. So the rain that we just had won't set us back. As soon as it gets another day to dry out, they'll be in there scraping off the material they put on to protect and begin with or proceed with the new drainage and sidewalks and then put the paving down. That project will run into March of 21.
Heather,
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. So the photo you're looking at Busman was before the holiday break, but now there's carpet in there and acoustical ceiling tiles. So everything is on schedule and mechatronics will start moving in later this month. And for CAD, we are going to be starting, our official start date will be Monday, January 18th. And you saw the trenches there on Scott's Central Plant Project. We'll be meeting with PG&E next week as well. With the there's some coordination there between Central Plant and the CAD project. So we are finally getting going. And then for the Towser project, a couple of items for the BFC today. The CEQA notice of exemption for this project is on the board agenda. And then also we finalized a schematic design with the athletic department and TLCD. This schematic design is being submitted to the chancellor's office later this month because we have state funding for this project. And so before we did that, I wanted everyone here to see the design. So with that, I'll hand it over to TLCD.
so you should be able to share your screen now, TLCD.
Thank you, Seraphine. Thank you, Heather. Hopefully you can all see my screen now.
Yes.
Yep, thank you and good afternoon, everyone. I'm Carl Service, principal in charge from TLCD. And we're excited to show you where we're at on the Towser renovation project. Started in late October and we've met with the stakeholders a few times in mid-December with them, and we are finalizing the schematic design and working on the cost estimate. And so what you're seeing here is a historic photograph from the original 1936 building. And here we are on the campus plan. Just to clarify, it's a little fuzzy kind of where Towser starts and where Towser ends and Quinn starts, but Towser includes the original gymnasium building and what we're calling the east and west wings. So what you're seeing here is a site plan to kind of show there's a little bit of site improvements that we're doing around the building, but keeping that to relative minimum. And then we are also including in the scope of the project improvements to the courtyard. That's the existing outdoor pool. It's going to be filled in and decommissioned as part of this project. Since the new outdoor pool is going to be under construction soon. So there's a few areas where we're providing an accessible pathway into the building to make it better for folks, particularly on the east side where the adapted PE program is going to be relocated, and there's going to be a particular or a larger amount of folks that are in wheelchairs and with other disabilities that benefit from that added access. And so what you're seeing here is the existing floor plan that there was the original 1936 construction, and then there's been several additions that happened over the years. There were the two east and west wings that were constructed in the 40s. There was an addition on the west side of the original building constructed in the 60s, and some other additions and renovations since then, but it's been largely left alone for quite a while now, other than a re-roof that was done over the 1930, the original gym building that was just completed a couple of years ago. And so this is a diagram showing the different that are going to be in the building. The biggest, I guess, change is that the men's locker room down here where APE is shown is moving out into the build house as part of the CAD program, and the adapted PE program is moving in. The sports medicine in the orange is staying in the same location, but getting some additional offices and other renovations. The kind of purple part, the equipment, is staying basically where it is, but there's going to be some additional laundry facilities, and we're hoping to relocate the electrical service to the building to this a more central location in the equipment room. And then the main gym is going to provide a new home for the wrestling program. So there's going to be a mat hoist that allows the wrestling mats to be lifted off of the ground and stored up against the east and west wall behind the basketball hoops. And so it'll still serve a multi-function for basketball or volleyball practice, but primarily for wrestling. And then the green are the women's locker that are the team locker rooms on the far west side of the building are largely staying where they are with some accessibility upgrades. And then the public women's locker room is being condensed a little bit, and we're providing some gender neutral facilities, gender neutral toilet and shower rooms, and a men's multi-occupant room. The gender neutral toilet and shower facilities was something that was a high priority from the stakeholders. So there's the two that I just mentioned by the women's locker room, and then there's also two gender neutral toilet rooms up near the main entry on the north side, historic entry to the building. And there's also 3 or 4 gender neutral toilet rooms, one of them including a shower on the kind of south side of the east wing that will provide toilet rooms closer to the dance and PE facilities. And then the kind of burnt orange or red on the left side, or in the west wing, is the fitness center that's staying the same function but getting some additional renovations. I should mention too that some of the larger expenditures for the project are going to be heating, ventilating, and air conditioning upgrades to the building. A number of spaces that are quite problematic right now, and there's a lot of equipment that is completely failed or failing and needs to be replaced. There's also a very old electrical wiring and service to the building. Basically, all of that needs to be replaced. I mentioned the roofing that was done over the gym building. But this project is going to include new roofing on the east and west wings over the fitness center and the 2-story east wing. And then we're also doing some voluntary seismic upgrades to the buildings to improve the seismic safety. So yeah, so wasn't going to go into too much detail with the floor plans. This is the existing, or this is the new gym with the all the new gender neutral toilet rooms and everything. What I didn't mention prior was the second floor of the east wing. The program will be right now, one of the studio spaces is used by the wrestling program, and since we're moving into the main gym space, the dance program will now have 2 dance studios. And so there's a little bit of reconfiguration also. And Currently, there's only a stair that serves the second floor, so we'll be adding an elevator in order to provide an accessible route to the second floor. And we're also replacing the stair because it's currently too steep and it doesn't meet code. And we're also adding a permanent stair, an exit stair on each end, the north and south end of the east wing. Currently, there's basically a fire escape on either end that doesn't meet the current code for a community college building. So it will be exit only, but there'll be a permanent stair exit from each of the dance studios. And so just to touch briefly on the exterior, there's not a whole lot of change that's happening to the exteriors. We will be repointing the brick and cleaning up kind of decorative elements, particularly around the historic north facade of the building. All of the windows will be replaced, which should improve the energy performance of the building. And then the east-west wings will get repainted and, as I mentioned before, re-roofed. And there's a few skylights that will also be replaced as part of that. But you can see that kind of two gray boxes on either end of this, the east elevation here are the stair towers. And what we're proposing for those is a perforated screen, aluminum screen that wraps around those stair towers. They'll be they're exit only, as I mentioned. We don't want folks getting into that, so there'll just be a panic bar at the bottom of the stair.
Carl, is there a plan for ADA or no elevator?
There is an elevator going in kind of at the center. It's roughly where there's a custodian closet. So you won't see that from the exterior elevations.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, one of the things we to accomplish after in starting the design was to basically eliminate the addition that was shown in the final project proposal. The final project proposal had a fairly substantial addition on the east side of the building that included an elevator and 2 exit stairs and some toilet rooms and storage space. And we were able to include all of that, all of those functions and programmatic elements within the existing footprint of the building. So should provide some savings by being able to make that move. I think so. For us, the next steps, as Heather mentioned, we're submitting the preliminary drawings package to the chancellor's office in late January, and we anticipate we should get approval of that in April, probably late April, and that would give us approval to start with the working drawings for the state funding for working drawings to come through. So we're on track to complete the working drawings in August this year, and then anticipate DSA approval next April in 22, and then there will be a time for the project to bid, and construction would start in August of 2022, and we're anticipating project completion in July 2024. So if there's any questions, I'm happy to answer those.
Carl,
Yeah, I've got.
Go, Jeff.
Oh, yeah, I have one question. So I know we saw in one of the earlier slides that Seraphin provided with the new pool out the backside. And it's been a while since I've been in there, but isn't currently the pool that's there, that's going to be the new plaza area, isn't that under roof right now, if I'm not mistaken? Or is it not?
That one is not. The
Okay, for some reason, I thought it was under roof. Okay,
yeah,
yeah, there you go.
the indoor roof is here in the, well, I don't know if you can see my cursor, but it's in the Quinn Swim Center, and the outdoor pool is the area that so the pool that has
And
diving boards and everything, that's the one that's being decommissioned.
And sorry, you broke up there. So where will the new pool go? Where is it exactly then?
It's on the south side of the Quinn Swim Center.
Okay, that's a story. The picture we saw earlier. Okay,
Yeah.
okay. And I just curious, was there ever any thought to putting it on the original spot, or is it just cost prohibitive or better design? Or I'm just curious.
Sorry, putting, are you talking about the pool?
Yeah, this is probably a Seraphin question, actually. I just curious.
Yeah, so when the application for the Towser modernization project was submitted, at that point, it was decided that the existing pool was not worth actually saving. We wouldn't be able to expand it the way that we are by including it in the exterior. You know, the new pool is actually going to be Olympic sized, probably the largest in the county. And we just don't have that opportunity inside in the existing site location.
Okay. My pool at my house is bigger than the Olympic size though. So not the biggest in the county. I'm just kidding.
Second, we may be second.
I've seen that one.
Was that an invitation?
You know,
You can ask Frank Chong. It's Olympic size, isn't it, Frank?
I can't swim, so I don't care. Maybe I'll learn to swim when they have that fancy swimming pool. Jill McCormick says she'd teach me how to swim.
So I really appreciate the thought that has gone into a lot of the details when you planned this. You know, the gender neutral bathrooms, you know, how the stairwells are going to work. You know, my son did wrestling, so these mats I know can be real problematic, so that they can rise up on their own is pretty cool. So, and I love that the outside is staying the same, you know, more or less. But so thank you. I do have a question about finances, and I don't know if that's a Heather or Seraphim question. They probably know exactly what I'm going to say. Because, you know,
I knew you were, I was reading your mind.
I know you were. I know you were. And, you know, I just can't even imagine you get into these old buildings and all the treasures and, you know, traps you find inside these buildings. So, but I want to be clear on how my understanding of the CAD project does not include Towser.
That's correct.
That is correct. And they're both about 5 million over budget, right?
Well, what I was about to mention regarding this project is that one of the great things about having TLCD on this team is that they bring with them the experience of everything that happened at Burbank. So Heather has been working very diligently with TLCD and our facilities team, surveying the building, anticipating what are some of those potential unforeseens. So based on that, and then also based on the conditions of the existing systems, these are all things that were not included in the estimate that was submitted with the application to the state. So as far as the state is concerned, they weren't really funding these items for us. So we, you know, based on the work that Heather did, what she did is present to us what our options were. We can do the interior modifications to the building and then end up with a faulty building at the end, or we can address all of these findings that the team has brought up now. And you know, along with those findings came a a rough estimate of what those potential costs could be. And so what we're deciding to do, what we're proposing to do, is that we take care of all those items now. So at the end of the project, we have a full functioning building that is going to last for another 50, 80 years. And so because of that, we are adding an additional, what we're doing is proposing is to add an additional $5 million from Measure H to the project budget. That still leaves a very tight budget for the project. But it is addressing most of the concerns that have been identified so far. I also want to add that the athletic department, the CAT department, has also been pretty frugal about the scope. There's no bells and whistles in this project or in this design. And as Carl mentioned, they've actually gone above and beyond in eliminating some of the original scope and incorporating, and they were able to figure out how to incorporate it into the existing building, including that elevator. So that's going to show up in cost savings. So the team has been working very, very hard. I know they had a very tough challenge. I could say I made them jump through hoops. And right now I think that they've been very successful. And the 5 million that we're adding is going to produce a very, like I said, a very effective, very functional building with basically no bells and whistles, but yet something that the department and I think all of us are going to be happy and proud of.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's okay with me if, we go 5-star and we front load it as opposed to the other way. I just, I appreciate what you just said. You gave me some talking points so I understand why. I mean, I think that's, from where I sit, is the most important thing. If someone asks me about, how come you're starting 5 million over budget, that I understand why we're starting that way. So I appreciate that. But it is true that both projects are 5 million over, right?
Yes, and I'll go into more detail about the CAD project. We are, again, that project has been very, very challenging from the very beginning. I like to say that we actually started, and these are not my words, these are, Heather repeats them to me all the time. We started under budget. And that is a reality, but in the last 2 years, Heather and her team have been working very hard to reduce the cost. There's been a lot of value engineering on the CAD project already. Some of the scope has been reduced, has been eliminated. The athletics department has been very proactive about reducing some of the scope as well. So for example, we're using the existing baseball dugouts as opposed to building new ones. The original plan had to build a new one, had a different layout of those dugouts of the baseball field itself. So working with the design team and also the staff, they came up with ways to cut cost on the project. But unfortunately, DSA did have comments that added cost to the project. And then we got hit hard on this particular project with the pandemic. We weren't able to capitalize on the lower prices at the very beginning of the pandemic in March. By the time DSA approved the project, the design builder had to rebid it. And at that point, the cost of materials were somewhat higher. So based on that, those two cost factors, we are experiencing a $5 million increase from our original very low and very tight budget. But I could say that with this increase, the department and the college is going to, again, be very satisfied to have state-of-the-art facilities. There are some bells and whistles that the department had to give up. But today, I think they're very happy with the current scope. And because most of this construction-wise has been bid already, we shouldn't experience any more cost unless there's unforeseen conditions that we experience once they start digging up. Those are the only costs. Yeah, and by the way, the budget that you see does include some money for that, some contingency for unforeseen conditions.
Right, you always pad it a little bit. Yeah.
Yes.
Got it. So my last question is, I think Heather mentioned that there was state funding for Towser, and we had matching fund state funding for the STEM building too, that all of a sudden disappeared out of the governor's budget at one point, and we went to Sacramento and fought for it. I was wondering if the funding, number one, was secure, the state funding that you referenced, and number two, if not and you need help, you should call on the board to help you if you need to secure more the state funding.
We're secured. Yeah, we're actually secured at this point. So,
secure. Okay.
Yeah, so these two items that Heather mentioned, the CEQA notice and also the submittal, this schematic design, these are two required submittals that we have to submit in order to maintain our funding. So these two items that you'll approve the CEQA exemption on next week, and then the fact that you're seeing the schematic today, and I'll present it to the board as well, that'll keep us on schedule. And right now we are not in any danger of losing any of the state funding.
Okay, but if that were to happen, you got a board that will help you. Okay.
Thank you.
I'm done. Aren't you glad?
Okay, well, I really appreciate that, Maggie. You allowed me to do the majority of my budget presentation right now. Thank you, Carl, and the entire TLCD team. Thank you, Heather. You guys are doing an amazing job. So now I am, hopefully I'm getting back to all right. So getting back to our presentation, our next. Are you seeing my PowerPoint, Towser, Jim? Okay.
Mhm.
Okay, here we go. So our next presenter is Amy Hitt. Amy?
Good afternoon, everyone. The campus-wide security project is moving forward well. Seraphin and I met with legal and agreed on the final draft for the contract, and I expect that back this week. The Petaluma and Windsor campus plans will be submitted to DSA in February of 2021, and the Santa Rosa plans will follow shortly in March. We'll be doing a lot of work ahead of that, working on what materials we can get ordered, submittals approved, coordination with IT department, and the current projection for the completion is March 2022. Doyle Library is complete outside of the signage, which I received confirmation will be installed on January 12th, and I will then be able to file for the notice of completion. The new furniture package will be delivered on January 11th, and that completes my report.
Thank you, Amy. Angela.
Good afternoon and Happy New Year to all. Happy to be again here and reporting. STEM is moving really, really fast with the demolition, starting underground work right now. Now we're starting our coordination with some other projects like Central Plant and projects around House Basement and Emeritus. The abatement phase was successful. We're still funding items underground, obviously, that we need to be careful and be kind of priority and safety, but abatement was very successful thanks to the team. Construction very well addressed. So that's my report, and schedule ongoing very smoothly. Our team was not really impacted by rain yet, so hopefully we can keep activities under control and upcoming items there. That's all.
Okay. Thank you, Angela. And Paul Wilhite, our new project manager.
Thank you, Seraphin. Thanks for having me. Garcia Hall Interior Improvements is a project that will upgrade and transform Garcia Hall into the communications department, which will serve as a communications hub for the campus. It is centrally located throughout the campus. And again, the design intent was in a more open and transparent way where people were comfortable interacting and communicating more than anything else. The upgrades will include 10 new classrooms, 4 large classrooms, 10 new faculty offices, and new furniture, as well as a speech lab and other modifications that the building needs. So I think it'll be a great project, and I'm looking forward to getting boots on the ground.
Thank you, Paul. Next, Dr. Chung, do you want to introduce this?
Yes, it's my pleasure to present to the board for their consideration a 2020 Measure H spending plan. As you recall, we started this 6 years ago, or really 5 years ago, because the Measure H passed toward the end of 2014, and we really in seriousness started planning in 2015, and then 2016 is when we really started construction. As you know, a plan is something that we take very seriously. It's our goals, it's our vision, it's our ambition. And we really knew that at that time we were going into the 100th year of 2018. And now we're, hard to believe, but we're 3 years outside of 2018 already. And we're making great progress. We've had to make adjustments to the spending plan, as you know, because some things are more expensive and some things are less expensive. But one of the things that board members like Kundi and Lindley know is that the infrastructure is very old. So when we had to do Burbank, it was quite a challenge to renovate an old building, especially a complicated building like a theater. But we did it. It was a little late. It was over cost, but it also won us an award, and it will be there for the next generation to come. And similarly, as we move forward toward the next phase of our Measure H spending plan, we will be able to do just about everything we had hoped to do. But in all honesty, as you're planning the end of one bond, you're also planning the beginning of an argument for a next bond and a rationale. So the plan, the $410 million, was never intended to do everything. We had done an assessment. Tony Nixon, previous, had done an assessment of about $1 billion if we had to do everything to bring everything up to code and up to speed. And so we're far from that. And so there's still a lot of work to be done, but I'm going to turn it over to Seraphin to give it to you. I've looked it over very carefully. I'm very comfortable with it. I want the board to scrutinize it, but I feel like we've been very transparent about where the spending is and where we needed to shift money. And the thing I'm most proud of, and I told the board this at the very outset, is that I wanted to take the money that we got from the taxpayers, the $410 million, and spend as little of it on administrative costs as possible. So I'm proud and pleased to tell you that our administrative costs, because we do mostly in-house with Seraphin and Samita and Heather and our consultants, they're doing a great job. And so it's only 3% of our annual budget is spent on administrative costs. Whereas if you look at any other large bond project, it's typically 10 to 15% because they'll usually hire an outside group in order to do it. And so we decided it would be more cost efficient and people be more accountable to the JC and have our interest in mind. So with that, I'll turn it over to Seraphin, but I'm real pleased that we've been able to keep our administrative costs down to 3%, but at the same time, maintaining quality award-winning projects. Seraphin?
Thank you, Dr. Chang. So it was a little challenging to get this kind of report up on a PowerPoint, but I broke it down to try to explain it as easy as possible. So just in general, what's happening as we reconcile our budget is that we have several projects that have been completed. And so you're going to see where we're truing up budgets. We were under budget in several of those projects. So today we're able to take the savings from the projects and reallocate them to those other projects that are costing us more. And then we're experiencing, over the years, we experienced different dynamics. One of the things that we're experiencing recently is a higher cost in construction. And we did take benefit to the, like I said, in between March and June, we were able to bid projects that saved us a lot of money. So you'll see some of that in the overview. Starting off, as Dr. Chung mentioned, we've been able to keep our planning, our program management to a minimum. You're not going to see any change in this budget for this time around. The only change that you'll see here is that there was originally $8 million allocated for swing space. So we're pretty much done with the cost that we're going to put into swing space. I'm proposing that we reduce that by $2 million. There is still money left in that budget so that we can address those swing space needs that we'll have in the remainder part of the program. Health and safety improvements, there's no changes here. The projects, the security project, for example, is part of this big bucket. The ADA compliance upgrades, most of the ADA compliance upgrades, very little of that has actually taken place. So we're planning to complete that as more of our projects. As far as indoors, the buildings themselves will handle the ADA compliance upgrades. And then as far as the site work, most of that is traditionally left to the end of the program to address. If there are any emergency items that we need to address, we do cover those as we go along. But there's no change that's being proposed under that category. IT, we have no change on that budget. It remains the same. Sustainability, the only change that you see here is a central plant project. That is one of the sustainability projects. Everything else remains the same. Most of that work is complete. David Liebman is continuously working on securing additional grants. So as those grants become reality, we will revise our future scope for more sustainability projects. But the central plant project was one that did come in over budget. So we do need to allocate additional funds to it. You may recall that we had a fire at the Quinn Central Plant. So we're expecting to get about $1.5 million from that claim. So with that additional money and what I'm proposing to add here, we should be complete on that project that already started. The infrastructure maintenance and improvement projects, there's no change on that item. These are all the most of the roofing projects that we carry out. A lot of the projects that come from facilities and operations department, very small projects, between $50,000 to $150,000 projects. You hear us report on those throughout the months. They come from this budget. So we have no change on that budget. I'm going to wait on the Santa Rosa campus to the very end because that's where we have most of the changes. At the Petaluma campus, there's no changes being proposed on that budget. Public Safety Training Center, no changes. I do want to point out that the labs and classroom, $4 million is what's allocated to the new building. That is a project that is also going to receive state matching funds. So that's not all the money for that project, but that's what was originally allocated. And so there's no change proposed there. At Schoen Farm, again, no changes. So far we did make a change last year. We increased the budget and we have been managing to that budget. So at this point, we see no need to increase the budget at Schoen Farm. And then at Southwest Center, again, we have no change being proposed there. There's $60 million that have been allocated for a new Southwest Center site. And hopefully we'll have movement in the very near future on this project. So no change being proposed on that budget. So now moving on to the Santa Rosa campus, this is where we see the majority of the changes. Starting with the Lindley Center project, we were very lucky to get a bid that came in way under our budget. So we're releasing about $2.8 million from that budget. So the 62.8 million is the Measure H, and then you may recall we have about $33 million from the state. So at this point, this leaves a very healthy budget for us to complete the STEM project. I talked to the Jeff Kunde Hall project is complete. We did come in under budget on that project. We are reserving some money for future tenant improvement. Once the STEM project is complete, we will do some renovation to the existing Kunde Hall in order to accommodate our new and permanent tenants in that building. So there will be some dollars that are left on that budget. The CAD project is, as I mentioned earlier, has had several challenges, but the team has done an exceptional job, and we did experience, cost increase in construction, so a $5 million increase to that project. The Burbank project, we're pretty much wrapped up with the expenses on that one, and we did have a $40 million approved on that one, so we're bringing that one down to $38 million. So there's a $2,000 decrease, a $2 million decrease on that budget. The Garcia Hall project, again, that's another heritage building. We are anticipating some unforeseen, similar to Burbank, so we are allocating an additional $1 million to that project. The Pioneer project, we originally had about $3 million. We're pretty much complete with the majority of the work that's being done at Pioneer. So with that allows us to reduce that project by about $2.4 million and allocate them to other needed projects. Same thing with
Seraphin,
yeah.
on that one, I mean, that's such a huge difference. There must have been something that was just taken off the plate for that. I mean, that big a difference?
Well,
on Pioneer?
Yes, the planning for the project as far as what departments go where, right? So in the last couple of years, we've decided to have the bookstore there, and then student services use the rest of the building. And so we're finalizing the student services strategic plan with the Intercultural Center project. So we do have, for example, the roofing project that is underway as well. And then, we want to make sure that the building is, that we're maintaining the systems in a way that's going to allow us to keep the buildings running for many more years. So the program of what goes into Pioneer is basically what changed. And the fact that, the bookstore renovation, they paid for that work. So we didn't have to pay for that. At Annalee Hall, we haven't done any work there yet, but we are reserving $1 million to address some upkeep of that building. The Towser Gym, I discussed that in detail as well. We are increasing that budget by $5 million. And again, this has to do with the fact that the original budget was severely under budget, as well as the conditions of the building. You know, similar to Burbank, we are expecting that we will have to spend more in making sure that we address those problems. Lunabis, we didn't have anything on there, but there's a couple of programs that need just a little bit of money that'll go a long way for the programs at Lunabis. So we're adding $200,000 there for minor work. At Busman, originally we had most of the work that was scheduled to be done at Busman, as you recall, the HR project and the mechatronic scope, that's been complete. So that scope came in under budget as well. And the thing that we have left to do in Busman is the renovation of the IT staff area. So we have plenty of money there to complete that work. And so we're reducing that by $1 million. There's no change at Plover. The Veterans Affairs project is complete. At Bertolini, we are increasing that one a little bit to address some of those changes that took place in student services. Baker Hall, no change. We're managing that project to budget. At Emeritus, we are reducing that one by about $1.5 million. We're still continuing to do work at Emeritus. Newman Hall is one of those projects that we will be addressing shortly, as well as the security project. The security project that's already complete at Emeritus. So there's about $9.5 million that we'll have left over for Emeritus. Magini reduces to about $1 million for some improvement on that building. And then Doyle Library, with all of the work that we've been doing there, that's going to require a little bit more. So we're adding $300,000 to that. The new foundation building, again, we are experiencing a higher cost in construction. So that is a new building. And so we're allocating 1.2 additional $1 million for the construction of that project. As you recall, when we last met, we were going to renovate that existing structure. And so it just seemed more feasible for us to tear that down and build a new one. Under parking and site, we're reducing that by $800,000. So that's a pretty minor decrease to the original $4.8 million. In the demolition projects, we have no change on the buildings that are yet to be demolished. And then we reduced the budget on the two that already took place because those bids came in lower. And then those are all of the changes that will bring us to a balanced budget of $410 million overall. So as you can see, most of the changes are on the Santa Rosa campus.
So I have one question, and I wouldn't ask this, Frank, if you hadn't brought it up. Where's the 3% administrative cost, which is what, about $12 million? Is that right?
So we're carrying our program management cost up here. So that's about $10 million.
Oh, I see. Okay, planning. Okay, that's what.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
We also receive interest on the money. The 410 is invested at the county at whatever this interest rate is, right? So at some point, we should ask Kate to get us how much interest we've accumulated over that time, Sarafin.
Mm-hmm.
That's not reflected in the scope, right?
That's correct.
Okay, good.
Well, I really appreciate this, Sarafin and Frank. I mean, it's great to know what it looks like, and a lot of it is sort of not visible. When you talk about the infrastructure, it's not the sexy stuff, but equally as important.
All adds up.
Well, I think
Go
go ahead, Jeff.
Oh, I said, this is a good report. This really gives us a bird's eye view of this thing. This is good to have this.
Yeah, we thought,
Um,
yeah. We thought it'd be helpful for you to have a sort of a punch list of how the projects have gone,
Yeah.
and some are over and some are under, you know, and we try to shuffle the dollars to make sure we do most of the major projects. And at the end of the day, there'll be a lot of transformation that has gone on in the campus with the $410 million. And I think we spent the money and we continue to spend the money as if it's our own, you know, and really in a frugal way. But, you know, no injuries, no, you know, labor disputes, no problems with the quality of construction, which we ran into in the past. But that's still early to say. Who knows? In 5-10 years, something will bust in one of these new buildings, and I'll leave that up to the new president and the board, whoever's left over, to deal with that. So that's enough.
Does the Seraphin, so at the bottom line, the grant, the Measure H total at the 410 million, and you show, you know, with the proposed and the current at the 410. Under the next column where you're showing, you know, like where you're doing some savings and everything, I wouldn't think it would. Does that balance out to zero? In other words,
in this particular, because I broke up the report for the presentation for you to see, it does balance out to zero as far as the variance between the 2 years. And here, for example, the Santa Rosa, you saw that we're going down from last year 212 million to this year 211 million. So the sustainability item is not under Santa Rosa. That's under general, because sustainability covered all of the campuses. And as you recall, we added $2 million plus to the central plant project. So that's where you see this variance. But if you look at the full report, you know, as it runs through, everything zeroes out to balances out to zero balance.
do you think, you know, of course, it's just, you know, when you look at the 2021, when that hits, because that's going to be probably up a few, would you figure a couple of percentage points yet, right?
Well, those are the unknowns. We're hoping that with these projections that we're making, we're going to cover at least the projects that are going to bid in 2021.
And refresh my memory. And I know we talked about this. How many years out does this take us? We figured to use all the bond money.
The bond money was scheduled for 10 years.
10 years, okay.
Yeah. Okay. So
we're into it now. What year? I want to say year 4, year 5.
We're into year 6.
Oh, okay. All right. 6, and so another 10.
No.
Another 4.
Another 4.
Oh, so it's 10 overall. Excuse me. Okay, 10, well, I got you.
10 overall.
Okay. That's yes. I guess that's what I was getting at. That's what I was getting at. So there's another 4 years. Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
Okay. All right. If there's no other questions, the last item that I have to report on are the items that will go to the for your approval next week. There's the final change order for the Santa Rosa campus LED project. That's a deduction of $1,600. And then the project is complete. So we're filing the notice of completion. So we're asking you to approve that as well. The installation of the portables and the site work for $1.9 million will be for approval for you. We have a change order for the Student Life project. That brings us to about 6% of change orders, and we're about 95% complete with that project. The Petaluma Recording Studio project is complete, so this is a notice of completion. And then the Towser Gym renovation project, the CEQA notice of exemption is being presented to you for approval. The CAD project, we have a design build contract that had a previous amount of the contract. So we're increasing that by an amendment of $5.4 million. Facilities and operations building re-roof project, that's a contract at $491,000. And then the microgrid project, this is an amendment to the designer of that project for $16,000. Any
question for you. And now I'm going back to your other sheet, the one we just, we looked at. So it just helped me understand it a little bit better. So you got the shown farm, the portables, right?
Yes.
That we're looking, is that an additional 1.9 that wasn't budgeted? Is that what we're saying?
No, the 1.9 is part of the overall 4.7 that are part of the shown farm budget.
That's what, hang on. So wait a minute. Oh, that's part of the 4.7 that I'm looking at?
So if you look at my screen, the classrooms and labs.
Oh yeah, I'm looking. I'm just looking at it over here. Okay, I see.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So $3.2 million. So that contract will come out of that $3.2 million.
Yeah.
So it's part of the budget.
Okay. All right. But and I'm just curious to what we would, anytime we're spending anything, we have to vote on that because it's already included in the budget that was approved. That's my question, I guess.
Yeah, so this budget, as far as the shown farm, that was approved last year. So we're not making any changes.
Right.
So this bid or this contract would be approved under an already approved budget.
All right.
And that's the
So,
same for everything on here.
that's what I thought. Okay. I mean, that's, I just, got it. Because what if, never mind. I'm good.
Okay, well, that concludes our first meeting, first BFC meeting of the year. And thank you for all the questions. I hope that we were able to address all of the questions and you're able to understand the budget better. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to send an email or direct them our way and we'll be happy to answer them.
Sarah,
One quick question. Go ahead, Maggie.
I was just going to say that I think that the only omission is this, and maybe it should just be at every meeting, that you should have a list of all the awards. You should give, I'm not kidding, be a shout out. I mean, you did some of the recent awards last time, but didn't David get some for sustainability too?
Yes, he did. We did receive.
I think lots to be proud of and for people to be reminded of. So that's just.
Keep us posted.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, I agree. That would be good. Hey, question for you, sir. How is the COVID affected construction with you guys on construction side of stuff?
Well, that's a good question, and we really appreciate it. We have been very, very strict with all of our contractors. So we do require a COVID-19 safety plan that adheres the Sonoma County Health Department's guidelines, and that has to be submitted and approved by us before they proceed with any work. So we've been strict with that, and I would say that the biggest or the most challenging task is just staying after the individual construction workers to stay safe, wear their masks. So our project managers are always, reminding contractors to have their workers adhere to the guidelines. So far, we've been good. We haven't had any cases on any of our projects. And we haven't, other than the actual shutdowns when we shut down our campuses, that we shut down the projects, we haven't experienced any delays on our projects. We did experience some cost on our projects, where projects that were bid prior to the pandemic, some of the safety plans include additional safety equipment, and so or additional restrooms, additional hand wash stations, and so that was a cost that was not anticipated, and so we did cover for some of that cost for some of the contractors. So we experienced some cost increase on that, but very, very minimal. It's been very minimal.
What are the guidelines? I'm sure you guys are discussing. You have a plan in place. I'm curious. Is so let's say you have one of the contractors there working on whatever project it is, and one of the people working on the project comes down with COVID, tests positive and stuff. What is the procedure then moving forward? So now this person is COVID, so he's offsite, of course, everything, but he's been around some of the people. Do they all have to self-isolate then? Would that, if suddenly you have the whole crew have to self-isolate, if it was one of the guys working? I'm just curious, how's that work?
So as soon as we identify an individual who's tested positive, we report it to the county, and then we follow county protocol. And so it's the same tracing protocol as any other case, but we do need to notify any individual that may have come in contact with that worker. And depending on the projects, we've been a little bit more strict on our interior, what we call our interior construction projects. So anybody that's working indoors, that they are, we're a lot stricter on that. Make sure they're wearing masks and following the distancing protocols. But if someone was to come down, yes, we would have to notify all of those workers, and they would have to get. Once we know that the individual is positive, then those individuals have to get tested. And the same quarantine.
Okay. And then I guess on the other side of it, because of COVID and the campus shut down and everything, you've probably been able to get a lot more work done quicker than you could have with everything being in session, correct?
That's correct. I mean, we're taking advantage of the fact that there's no one on campus so that we can get a lot of the messy work. Some of the work that we're doing right now, we probably wouldn't have been able to do it because of the parking situation, but just the parking situation has just freed up. We have Emeritus Circle all torn up. We have, and then we have the Central Plant Project tearing up a lot of the site. And so the contractors are using the parking areas as lay down areas. So that allows our projects to move faster.
Oh, good. That's all I've got, guys.
Okay. Well, thank you, everybody. Thank you, Seraphin, and all the support staff for all your good work. Everybody stay safe and
Yeah, great job.
Yes, thank you.
Good job, guys. Meeting adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you.
Take care, guys. Bye.